What's up, warriors? So here we are with our 8th video in the self series. Today it's self-pity. A lot of times it feels like a lot of veterans tend to go through a typical process, and one of them is going through that stage of self-pity. We pity ourselves, like, because of all the previous videos with our facing the surreality of our lost sense of family or lost sense of purpose. Then we question ourselves. Who are we? Our identity, our integrity, what's our mission now? And a lot of it we tend to, especially if alcohol is involved or other stimulants or depressants, is that we pity ourselves. It's like, why are we going through this? We have been trained to adapt and overcome any situation, even the most brutal ones, negative ones, and we almost just tend to be very hard on ourselves. As already mentioned, is that we went from a very high standard and structured environment, and now we don't. So when we compare that in our head, maybe not consciously, but it does seem like we compare it. We had a standard and a structure. You were on time, you were this and that, you were dressed accordingly, you did this and this. And then when you get in the civilian world, you realize very fast, not everyone even has a standard or structure even though you think the work life is a certain way, not everyone agrees with it. In the civilian world, you tend to have more leniency compared to the military. So we tend to just pity ourselves, like, wow, I feel like I'm lesser than I was. I have to adapt to this type of lifestyle. Now, of course, many people do uphold their own standards by all means. There's no shame in that, but this is just kind of giving a different perspective that there are different phases and stages that veterans go through as they transition out of the military, which is what the self series is kind of pointing out. Now, Fight is a realistic fictional story, but there's a mission beyond just the book series themselves, which is where these videos are kind of pointing to. But self-pity, a lot of us tend to just fall into that. We just pity ourselves because we went from, something we've always wanted to do or something that gave us a sense of purpose and meaning to life, and then when we take off the uniform, life just seems different, and then people treat us differently, especially if they're family or people who knew us prior to the service, and all of a sudden you come home and you just get put into, oh, you're different. Why are you different? And then not everyone can express verbally what it is that we feel now, how we are, who we are. I know I definitely had a snapping point where it's like, can you just treat me like I'm a human being? Like, I know I'm weird, I know I'm eccentric, I know I don't fit your ideal person, that's not who I was anymore. Or, okay, I said certain phrases or jargon, don't look at me like I'm the idiot. Like, as veterans just want to be treated like an equal again. The process itself of getting out of the military is already challenging enough, more so mentally and emotionally, some physically for some. I don't ever speak for all veterans. Every veteran has a story. Every veteran has their own experiences in the military. They have their own experiences in the transition process, their own personalities. This is Fight is really just wanting to be a voice for those who feel like they lost theirs. People who just struggle identifying themselves, identifying their emotions. Some people don't always get to see a counselor. Some people don't even want to deal with that. Some don't want to go through the VA or deal with the hassles with the VA. Some very successful with the VA, and I'm very glad to hear that. But for those who are challenging their self-identity and what the future may hold, oftentimes we fall into this self-pity. Don't be so hard on yourself where you are just stuck in that negative, dark mindset that this is who I am now. I've just now become a POS. I pity myself. I'm just a nobody. And then you kick yourself down, and then you end up falling into a depression. Maybe you turn to certain coping mechanisms that are just not healthy. Or you cut yourself off from the real world with other people, because who wants to deal with people in crowds? I don't blame you. And then of course social media. There's so many bots out there. All these social media platforms just aren't interesting. If it weren't for the book series, I wouldn't be here right now. So I really hope that this self-series is really reaching people. I've had great testimonies from the Fight series, from the books themselves. Please look into that if you haven't already. But if you are going through that phase or that stage in the mourning process, it's kind of what I call it, when you're in transition mode, some people are still in a coping or a mourning process or that transition process even years after getting out of the military. There's some things that are just delayed, or a memory that you have kept out of your mind for the longest time. All of a sudden something either triggers it, or you just wake up one day or in the middle of the night and you're going, wow, I forgot that happened. And then you're having to mourn that memory. So, or go through or process that memory even many years later. So every veteran is going to be different. Every individual is going to have a different story, different processes, different stages of that process. Because especially if they've been in a very long time, some of those, especially those very stressful or very not good memories, our brain naturally pushes those away, where you basically forget it. And then one day, a song, a phrase, something, a smell brings it all back. And then all of a sudden, now you are looking at your veteran, your friend, your relative, your spouse, and you're like, wow, why are they so different today? Don't be so hard on them, especially other veterans. Let's try to encourage people to either voice or go through a healthy process, or because some people just need a moment to either go for a walk or go work out or talk to someone they serve with to get through that breaking point so that they can get more comfortable talking about the situations. But if you are in that process of pitying yourself, do not pity yourself. Everyone is going to have their own personal journey, their own healing journey. Don't compare yourself. Don't get so stuck comparing yourself like, well, these veterans are doing great things. Okay, heal. And then maybe you can do great things, starting organizations, going on these excursions or whatever that these different vet groups are doing, so that you can be a part of that again. But you gotta heal. Otherwise, you take that darkness with you and you spread it towards other people. If you're not wanting to be that jerk in the situation or that dark, depressing person, because I tend to be the depressing person in the group, especially with Fight. It's hard to talk about Fight in a very positive light, which is why I'm a little awkward in lives, because Fight is a dark topic. I love talking about it. The book series, I love talking about the self series, being able to encourage people and motivate people, whether they've served or not. But I really want to be a voice for those who feel like they lost theirs, because I was one of them. I pity myself even still, because I don't have great stories to tell. But yet I want to scream to the world that no veteran should ever have to fight alone, because I had to do that myself. We had each other's six once upon a time. I don't believe that ever has to stop. I hope you keep fighting the fight today.